Hey everyone, welcome back to class. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Kathleen and this is going to be a full body class using a long Theraband as our prop. And I'm just going to show you the one that I have here. It is a medium weight Theraband. It's very, very long. I like extra length just so I can play around with the slack depending on what tension I want in what exercise I'm doing. If you don't have a Theraband, no worries at all. This class will still be effective. And let's get started. So go ahead and can place the Theraband off to the side for now. And we're gonna just come to stand. We're gonna take a few breaths here. So bring your feet hips width distance apart. Take a big inhale, sweep your arms overhead. And slowly exhale out through your mouth. Releasing your fingertips down. 2 more like that. Big inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Slow exhale out of your mouth. Letting the fingertips come all the way back down. 1 more like that. Big inhale breath through the nose. And slow exhale out through your mouth as you draw the fingertips back down. And then we're going to come to the back of our mat. You're going to take 1 more breath in. Deep breath in through your nose. Inhale. And then exhale, you're going to slowly start to roll your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time. Coming into a deep knee bend here, and just hang out here for a few moments. Let your upper body be really heavy. Find a deep bend in those knees. We're just warming up the body here. Maybe shake out your neck. And then when you're ready, start to walk yourself out into a tabletop. So you're gonna come to all fours here. Shoulders stack over the wrists, hips over your knees. And we're just gonna find some spinal movement here. We're gonna take a few rounds of cow and cat. So inhale, find cow pose, drop your belly low. Lift your tailbone high. Draw your shoulders down. Lift the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, find cat pose, rounding through your spine, tucking your chin into your chest, tucking through that tailbone. 2 more rounds. Inhale, find cow pose. And exhale, find cat. Great. 1 more here. Inhale, cow. And exhale, find cat. Really just opening up through our spine. That should feel pretty good. All right. From here, you're going to walk yourself out into a high plank. We're getting into our warm-up now. Go ahead and find your high plank. Shoulders stack over those wrists. Puff out the space between your shoulder blades. Draw your belly button back towards your spine. Feel your core already engaging. And try to find a neutral spine here, so try not to tuck through the tailbone. Okay, from here, we're just gonna take toe taps. You're gonna tap your right toes to the edge of your mat, left toes to the edge of the mat, right toes come back in, left toes come back in, and then start with your left. Left, right, left, and right. And just alternating the side that leads here, continuing on just like that. Left, right, left, right. Now, as you continue with your toe taps, a few things to think about here. We're trying to keep our body as stable as we can, and that's really gonna recruit your core strength. So notice if your hips are wiggling around a lot. And what helps with that is if you bring your stance a little bit wider. So instead of coming in really narrow, maybe come into a little wider than hips width distance apart with those feet. And you should notice that helping with the hips swaying from side to side. Breathing through this. Keep your gaze forward, nice long spine here. Out, in. 2 more rounds here. Out, out, together. Together, last one. Out, out, together, together. All right, drop the knees down for a second. There was a fly. All right, deep breath in and exhale. Okay, coming back into our high plank. You're gonna step your feet back again. From here, we're gonna take a variation of slow mountain climbers. We're gonna start with wide-legged mountain climbers. So you're gonna bring your right knee wide up towards your shoulder armpit height, and it's not gonna tap your shoulder or your armpit. We're just aiming towards that area, and you're gonna step it back. Left knee in and back, and it's coming out and wide, and then we're gonna take regular mountain climbers, standard in and in. So we go wide, wide, narrow, and narrow. Breathing through it. Exhale as the knee drives in. Inhale as it comes back. Narrow and narrow. We go out and out. Narrow and narrow. And I just love high plank for exercises for my warm-up because it really gets the whole body engaged, and especially the core, which I like to have nice and activated before I get into all the more targeted, specific moves in class. So if you've taken my classes before, you'll probably be familiar with that format. All right, breathing through it. Let's do one more round here. We go wide and wide, narrow and narrow. Hold it here for 5. Just a quick plank hold for 4. Soft bend in those elbows, 3. Here's 2. And 1 more. And go ahead and drop the knees down. Take a seat, maybe roll out your wrists a few times. Whew. All right, feeling nice and warm now. We are now gonna get into some of our band exercises. We're gonna start here with our legs and our glutes. So go ahead and grab your band if you're using one, and I'm gonna show you how to set it up. This part is key, so you'll want to pay attention, and I'll come slightly forward here so you can see this a little bit better. What you wanna do is fold the band in half, and then kind of create this horseshoe shape with the band. Make sure it's roughly, folded in half so that you have equal length on either side of the band. You're gonna step your right foot onto the band, the sole of your foot, and you're gonna bring both sides of the band together in your left hand. All right, hopefully you guys are still with me. All right, then you're gonna step your right foot back, and you're gonna plant the left knee on top of the band, and then you're gonna release the band, and that's it. That's our setup. All right, and I'm gonna come slightly sideways here so you can see the leg movements a little bit better once you have the band set up. And I'm just going to pull the band a little bit tighter so there's a bit more tension. And I should also say that with this setup, you can always tighten or loosen the slack just by pulling on the band. So if you want it tighter, pull it up so there's less distance. If you want it looser, allow more slack. All right, and you can always adjust at any time if you're not sure what tension to use for the next few exercises. All right, okay, from here, we're gonna come into a tabletop with our band set up. So come into that tabletop, shoulders stack over the wrists, hips over the knees, and then from here, you're just going to lift the right toes up, finding a 90-degree bend in that right knee, and then drop it back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So we're keeping the bend in our knee the whole time here. Lift and lower. Just getting ourselves warmed up here. Trying to find equal weight distribution between our arms, between our palms. And trying not to let that right hip sag or open up. So we're trying to keep the hips parallel, trying to keep them squared down towards the mat here. Let's do 5 more. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. And you'll start to feel the weight of the band. And again, as I said, you can always play around with tension that works for you. Here's 2. We're gonna find 1 more and lower it down. And then this time, I want you to extend the right toes out, finding length through that right leg. And from here, you're just gonna lift that leg to about hip height and tap. We're gonna exhale, lift, and tap. And a few things here. It's tempting to allow the low back to sag and to flare the rib cage open like that. I want you to really think about drawing your navel to your spine, closing through the rib cage, using your core strength, pressing out through your shoulders like you're in a high plank, really using that core. And if that means you come a little bit lower, that's totally fine. It's not about how high that leg gets. It's about how much length we can find and how much we can rely on our core strength here. Let's do 3 more. And 2. And 1. And I'm definitely starting to feel this in my glutes. Hopefully you guys are too. I'm feeling it both in my supporting glute and the working leg glute. All right, we're gonna now combine the moves that we just did. So what we're gonna do, so we're going to lift up and extend, tap and lift, drawing the knee back in. So it's a combination of those moves. Lift, extend, and tap. Lift, and in. Exhale out. Tap, and lift. Coming back in. Let's do 5 more here. And in. 4, 3. Notice if your low back is starting to sag too. And find 1 more. And draw the knee in. Whew. All right. Moving into our next variation, we're gonna actually work our hamstrings before we come down. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna extend the toes out long. You're gonna lift that leg up. And from here, you're just gonna find a curl and extend. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. We're not here for long. I know this one is really intense. And again, trying to keep the hips parallel, hips closed off here. Let's just do 3 more. Breathing through it. And 2. And 1. And hold it out. And then drop the toes down. Whew. All right, coming down now onto our left forearm. You're gonna drop down to the left forearm, and I'm gonna come a little bit more straight so you can see this better. You're gonna drop down to your left forearm, tent your right fingertips next to those left fingertips, extend the right toes long behind you, and then I want you to inch your right toes slightly towards the right corner of your mat, so they're forward of your hips. All right, once you have that set up, you're just gonna lift and tap through that right leg. So we're gonna lift and tap. Exhale, lift and tap. And now for this move in particular, I feel it a lot more in my left glute, so my supporting glute. And another thing I want you to think about is really lifting out through your left shoulder, so the supporting shoulder, and through the left oblique. So try not to let yourself sag here like this. We want to stay lifted and engaged. Let's do 4 more. And 3. And 2. And find 1 more. And just hold here for a second. We're almost done with this side. And before we switch, we have 1 more move. You're gonna lift the toes up, draw the knee in, exhale, extend it back, and tap the toes down. Moving slow here, 4 more like that. Lift, draw the knee in, extend it back, and tap. And we're trying to keep that knee lifted at the same height the whole time as it draws in and back. 2 more. You've got this. Lift, draw it in, extend it back, and lower. 1 more here. Woo. Extend and lower. And take a seat up. Let's take a quick child's pose here. This one is super intense. You can leave the band where it is. We're just gonna take it to the other side pretty soon. Drop the forehead down. Take a few breaths here. 1 more breath. All right, we're getting straight to the other side. I know this one's a real burner, and as I said, if you need to loosen the slack at all on the band, feel free to do so at any time. Okay, same setup on the other side. Find that horseshoe shape with your band. You're gonna step your left foot roughly in the center of that band, and you're gonna bring both sides of the band into your right hand. You're gonna step the left leg back, so you're on your knees, and then you're just gonna place the band underneath your right knee. It's best if the band is flat. If it's a little bit wrinkled up, it might just be uncomfortable for you. All right, gonna come slightly sideways here so we can see the move better. And again, bring as much resistance in that band as you would like, now that you know the moves. And then just let the band go. So now your hand should be free of the band. And I'm gonna loosen it up just a little bit, okay. All right, starting in our tabletop here, shoulders stack over the wrists, hips over the knees. And we're just gonna start with the knee drives. So lifting that left leg up and lowering it back down. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. Lift and lower. And again, really thinking about parallel hips, drawing up through the navel, back towards the spine, feeling your core engage, pressing out through your shoulder blades, recruiting that upper body strength here as well. It's almost like you're trying to lift away from the floor. lift, and lower. Let's do 3 more. And 2. Breathing through it. And 1 more. And drop it down. And the next variation, we're gonna extend the legs out, the left toes out, the left leg is nice and long here, and we're just going to lift and tap. Exhale, lift, inhale, tap. We lift and tap. Keep on going, just like that. And again, thinking about all the things we talked about on the other side. Nice and square hips for 5. Soft bend in the elbows, and keep your gaze long. So you should be looking at the mat. Here's 3, and 2, and find 1 more, and drop those toes down. Alrighty, we're gonna do our combined movement now. So we're gonna lift the leg up, draw the knee in, extend it up, extend, tap, and lift. In, lift, extend, tap, and lift. So we're just finding that combined movement here. Tap and lift. 3 more. Tap and lift. Here's 2. And find 1 more. Tap and lift. And set the knee down. Take a moment here to breathe. We're getting into our hamstring curls next. You're gonna start with your left leg extended back behind you. We're gonna lift that leg up. Holding it here, we're gonna find our hamstring curl. So that extended leg position is your home base, but we're only here for 5 reps. You've got this. We only have 2 more. And 1. And set the toes down and just breathe. All right, we are now coming down onto our right forearm. And again, I'm gonna come forward. And you're gonna tent your left fingertips next to those right fingertips, and you're gonna step your left toe out slightly towards the left edge of your mat so that your toes are forward of your hips. From here, we're just gonna lift and tap. Exhale, lift, inhale, tap. We lift and tap, and we're lifting out of our right side here, trying not to sink through the right hip and sag through the right rib cage. Lifting out of that shoulder for 5. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just hold it here for a second. We have just 1 more move in this glute series. And we're going to do a combined movement here. So we're gonna lift the toes up, draw the knee in, extend the leg back, tap those toes down. 4 more like that. Lift, draw the knee in, extend the leg back, tap it down. 3 more. Breathing through it. 2 more. And 1 more. And tap it down. You guys are doing great. All right, that was a lot. Take a seat up. Let's take 1 more child's pose before we move on. And you can take that band out from underneath you, just place it off to the side. We are gonna use it in just a bit, but let's take a quick stretch here. Bring your knees wide, drop your forehead down. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. 1 more like that. Inhale and exhale. Alrighty, go ahead and walk yourself back up. We're gonna take it to a standing series now with our band. So go ahead and grab that band, come to stand. I'm gonna start on my right side here. And again, you're gonna want to fold the band in half. It doesn't have to be perfectly in half, but more or less you want about even length on both sides of that band. You're gonna step your right foot onto that band, and then you're gonna step your left foot back, and we're gonna drop into a short lunge here. And then what I like to do is I like to crinkle up the band underneath my palms into my palms here. I personally find it more comfortable. You can wrap it around your palms if that's more comfortable for you, or just hold on to it and let the extra length just spill out on the side, whatever works for you. All right, from here, we're gonna get into bicep curls. So again, play around with the tension on the band. I like this one a little bit heavier personally. If you want it heavier, you wanna choke up on the band a little bit more. You want it lighter, let go of the band. All right, from here, we're gonna sink all the way down into a short lunge, tapping that left knee down, and your right knee stacked over the ankle. Left hip stacked over that knee, and we're sinking really low here, finding that full bicep curl all the way up, and then lowering it down as you stand up. Exhale, curl and lunge. Inhale, stand it up, release the band. Full range of movement here. Curl and extend. Just like that. Keeping your core nice and tight. Again, finding a neutral spine here. Sinking really low. We're gonna feel it in the left quad for sure. And in both biceps, we have 5 more. Exhale and inhale. One thing I want you to think about is trying to keep your wrist in line with the rest of your forearm. So we're not allowing our wrists to splay open like this. Nice strong wrist here. Let's do 3 more. Full range. And 2. And 1 more. Nice job, and come all the way up. All right, for this next move, we're gonna find a lunge into an extended lunge. We're gonna change up the arm variation. For this one, I'm gonna loosen up the band a little bit. All right, and it's gonna work the tops of your shoulders, so I'll just warn you now. Okay, from here, you're gonna start in your short lunge. So starting in that short lunge, just elbows in by your side, palms facing one another. You're gonna start to extend through the back leg, keeping the right knee straight, and you're gonna tilt your upper body forward. As you do so, you're gonna reach the arms out into a V shape at about shoulder height, maybe lower if this is too much. Palms facing down, wrists are nice and straight once again. And then you're gonna come back in to your starting position. Elbows in by your waist. And exhale, extend it out. Inhale, come back in. Exhale, extend it out. Just like that. Inhale and exhale, extend. Inhale, exhale, extend. 5 more. Breathing through it. Here's 4. And 3. 2. And 1 more. And then you're gonna come back to your lunge and you're gonna stand all the way up, woo, and we're taking it straight to the other side. Woo, I'm getting really sweaty. Don't know about you guys. All right, coming into our short lunge on the left side, we're gonna start with our bicep curls. So step that right leg back. You're gonna sink down into your lunge. I'm gonna choke up on the band a little bit. You're gonna sink down into that deep short lunge, tapping the knee down as you find your bicep curl, and then inhale as you stand up, releasing the band. Exhale, curl. Inhale, stand it up. Beautiful, just like that. Full range of movement here. And again, keep that core engaged. 5 more here. Breathe through it. 4. 3. And 2. Woo. And 1 more. The band is so spicy. It doesn't look like it would be as hard as it is, but I am definitely feeling it. All right, we're going into our extended lunge now. I'm gonna loosen up the band a little bit. You're gonna find your short lunge, elbows squeezing in by your waist, palms by your side, or palms facing one another. You're gonna extend through the left leg, reaching out long through the crown of your head, and you're just gonna reach the bands out, finding that V shape with your arms, and then you're gonna come back in as you inhale. Exhale, extend. Inhale, draw it in. Exhale, extend. Inhale, back to your lunge. Keep breathing. Keep on going here. We're not here for long. It's our last move in this series, and then we're gonna come to seated on our mat. Here's 5. And 4. 3. Whew. 2. Last one here. And you're gonna stand all the way up and shake out your legs. Woo, all right. Good news is we're coming down to our mats now for the rest of class. Hopefully that's good news to you. Definitely is for me. All right, we are gonna be using the band again. And this time, I want you to fold the band in half and then bring both soles of your feet onto the band. Make sure it's nice and flat. I think it'll be more comfortable for you. And we're gonna get into a seated ab series with the band. I love using the band because it provides extra support, sort of the way our ball does, but it is in a very different way, and you'll see why. And with this exercise, it's actually harder. It's more reliance on your core when you give the band more slack. It's less reliance on the core and more support from the band as you choke up tighter onto the band. And I encourage you to play around with that to see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna take a pretty light grip on the band to start. So you can see here, there's not much tension. And your feet are about hips width distance apart here. And from here, you're just gonna take a little, you're gonna find a C curve. So scooping out through your low belly. And you're just gonna find a little curl back and lift. Back and lift. And again, I totally encourage you to try choking up on the band, see how that feels, see how that provides a little more support from the band. And then maybe if you want, release the band a bit and notice how your core works harder here. There's less reliance on the band, more reliance on the core. Breathing through it, a little back and lift, keeping your chest nice and open here. And lift. Back and lift, and tucking your chin just ever so slightly towards your chest, trying to draw the shoulders back here, back and lift for 10 and 9, 8, exhale as you lift. We have 5 more, and 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. All right, we're gonna hold it back, holding it back in our C curve. Core is engaged. From here, we're gonna keep our upper body still, and then we're just going to draw the elbows back. So reaching those elbows back, applying some tension on that band, and then you're gonna reach your arms forward and open your arms out to the side, stretching the band out. And notice my palms are forward of my shoulders, so I'm not coming all the way back here, just to a kind of a V position with the arms, and then back to center. We're gonna draw the elbows back and forward and open and close. And again, playing around with the tension of the band here. I want this to be less about your arms and more about your core. So find a resistance, a tension on that band that works for you, where you find the happy medium, where you feel well supported but still challenged. Back and open. Inhale and exhale. Keep on breathing just like that. Exhale as you draw the elbows back. Inhale forward. Exhale as you open the arms. Inhale as you come back to center. Sometimes it takes me a bit to figure out the breath pattern. I have to do the move to see where I'm working the core the most. Okay, we're gonna do 3 more like this. And again, keeping the wrists nice and aligned and straight. Okay, we have 1 more round. Woo. And open. All right, from here, I'm gonna choke up on the band just a little bit. We're gonna take it into twists. So you're gonna keep the left arm reaching forward. You're gonna reach that right elbow back and come back to center, and opposite, left and forward, alternating the sides. Exhale, draw the elbow back. Inhale as you come back to center. And I want this twist to come from your core. So we're trying to keep our knees and our hips parallel forward, just twisting from the core, opening up through our shoulders and our chest. 3 more each side here. Breathing through it. Here's 2. And last 1. Nice job. And then you're going to come all the way up. Take a quick breather. Maybe open your knees a few times. This one you might be feeling a bit in your hip flexors. I promise we're going to get a good stretch after this. All right, we have just a few more moves and then we're going to be out of here with some stretching. Okay, for this next move, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a tighter grip on the right band and a slightly looser grip on the left. And then what you're going to do is you're going to twist over towards the right side. And we're going to stay on this side for this move before we get to the other side. And you're just going to open up your arms and close. So staying twisted towards the right side, just an ever so slight twist from your core and close. And again, play around with the band tension here and close. And I'm going to loosen up a little bit. 1, open and close. 5 more. This one's super intense on the obliques. Here's 3. And 2. Stick with it. And 1 more. I don't know if you can see how much I'm shaking here. And come all the way up. Woo. All right, guys, this is our last move. We just have this move on the other side. I'm just gonna come over onto this side so you can see this a little bit better. And then we're gonna get into stretching and you will be out of here. All right, so again, placing that band underneath the soles of your feet. This time you're gonna take a looser grip with the left fingertips and a tighter grip with the right. And we're gonna twist over from our core. So hips are squared forward, but we're twisting from the core to the left. We're gonna start with those arms together. And again, play around with the tension. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. Open and close. Just like that. Okay, we have 5 more. Stick with it. 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. And release. And you can drop the band off to the side. We are gonna use it in stretching if you'd like. And we're just gonna come down onto our backs and take a little supine figure 4. Whew. The hard work is done now. You're gonna cross your right ankle over your left knee here. And then just bring your left knee in towards your chest, grabbing behind that left thigh. If you want to get a little bit deeper into your right glute, you can use your right elbow to nudge that knee open. And just breathe here. Deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Each inhale, find a little bit more depth in that stretch. Find a little more space in your right glute. And each exhale, try to relax into that space, being gentle here, but feeling that stretch. So then slowly drop your left foot down. And this time you can reach for your band. If you'd like, we're gonna take a hamstring stretch here. And I just love the support of the band. Just gonna fold the band in half here and place the band underneath the sole of my right foot. Grabbing on either side of that band, extend your right foot up towards the sky, flexing through your toes. So flexing your toes towards your face here. And then you can use the band to encourage your leg a little bit closer to deepen that hamstring stretch. You can keep this left leg bent like this. If you want more, you can start to extend the toes out, maybe coming all the way to straight with that left leg. Just breathing here, being gentle. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, from here, you're gonna bring both sides of the band into your right hand, holding onto your left hip. You're gonna open up your right leg towards the right, finding an inner thigh stretch. Should feel really good. And again, if you want, you can choke up on the band or loosen the band. Breathing here, just a few more breaths. And then you're gonna come back through center, and we're gonna switch it out. So take the band off of your right foot, and then cross your left ankle over that right knee, finding our supine figure 4. You can lift your legs up and grab behind that right thigh, and you can use your left elbow to nudge your left knee open, deepening the stretch in your left glute. Breathing here. I'm taking a longer stretch series at the end here because this class was very intense, and I wanted to make sure you guys are getting a good stretch. But as always, if you have time after class, I encourage you to stretch even more. Wherever you're feeling a bit tight, spend at least 30 seconds in that stretch. All right, one more breath in through your nose. Slow out through your mouth. And then slowly drop the right toes down. Go ahead and grab onto your band and then place it underneath your left foot. Go ahead and extend the left heel up towards the sky, flexing your toes back. And just breathe here. You can use the band to encourage that leg a little bit closer, to deepen the stretch in your hamstring. And if you're feeling ready, you can start to extend the right toes out, maybe coming all the way to straight. And just breathing here, noticing the differences on either side. I'm much tighter in my left side than my right. Always have been, probably always will be, but it's something that I'd like to work on and be conscious about. And then you're gonna grab both sides of the band in your left hand. Using your right hand on your hip, you're gonna start to open the left leg out to the side, finding an inner thigh stretch. Oh, and this feels so good. Also stretching out our right hip flexor here. One more breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And you're gonna slowly bring that leg back to center, releasing the band from your foot. We are all done with the band. You can place it off to the side. You're gonna come up for a seat, and we're just gonna take a quick little breathing exercise, seated on our mat here, whatever is a comfortable seated position for you. You're gonna take a deep breath in through your nose, and a slow breath out through your mouth. One more like that, in through your nose, filling all the way up. Slow out through your mouth. And you guys are all done with class. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this class with the Theraband. I hope you were feeling it. I definitely was. And if you want to stay tuned for what's next, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and to provide some feedback if you liked the class, if you didn't like the class. I'd love to hear what you guys are feeling, and I really value your feedback. And I'll see you guys next time.